What was it like inside Sam Ovens' Quantum Mastermind for $36,000? I was in it for a year. That's the purpose of this video, is to dive extremely deep on what I learned in this mastermind, how much it costs, how they structure the events, what do you get when you get inside, and is it worth it for you to join? There's nothing out there like this, so I want to make this video because a lot of people have DM'd me and asked for it. After watching the previous video I made, which was about paying Sam Ovens $46,000, I didn't dive deep into the mastermind. Now I'm going to do that for you. So let's get straight into it, all right? I had to organize this information into some slides because it's a lot. Here's the 8 things that we're going to cover. How do you get into this mastermind? What's the cost? What do you get? What's the most valuable things that I learned? What did I not like about it? And what was the impact it had on my 2 businesses? Why did I decide to leave the mastermind, and is it worth it for you? Okay, now before we get into this, here's some proof that I was actually in this mastermind, a couple photos, and if you want more details on just my whole story about how I got to know Sam and everything, you can go watch that previous video. I'll leave a link in the description below. But let's get rolling and talk about the Quantum Mastermind, all right? How do you get in? So first of all, I reached out to Sam Ovens, and I say we here because it was my business partner and I, Sean, and I reached out to Sam Ovens and Jesse Clark directly via Facebook Messenger. Here's the actual message. I gotta show you guys some proof. This is actually how I structure my videos, by the way. You'll get a sneak peek here. Here's the proof. I sent Sam Ovens this message almost 2 years ago exactly. This is August 16th, 2018. Hey dude, spoke with my business partner Sean. We wanna get in. Here's our only concern. We're about 7 days away from running Facebook ads. Our revenue is $30,000 a month, blah, blah, blah. Sam responds, he says, of course. 3 weeks is short term. Quantum is about massive long-term success. Cool, can we set up a call? We set up a call with Jesse Clark, who's his general manager, and we got on the phone with Jesse. It was an interesting process to get into, which I want to tell you more about that here. So you may be put on a waiting list. So now what's happened is the mastermind has maxed out. There's only allowed, I think, 100 people. Again, this is the information that I'm telling you may have changed. Okay, everything is subject to change. So don't just go and talk to Sam or Jesse expecting everything that I told you in this video to be 100% accurate. It's been about a year and a half since I was in that mastermind. Okay, so we got on the phone with Jesse, and he basically told us about the mastermind. When we got on the phone, he basically qualified us to make sure that we were a good fit and told us kind of what we could expect in joining the mastermind. But it wasn't really a lot of details. It was still kind of high level and vague. I had a lot of unanswered questions in my mind, but we got a lot of value from the up-level course that Sam Ovens offers, which helped us actually scale that business from 0 to 60,000 a month in 3 months. And we were debating getting into the Quantum because of those results. Again, more information on that is in the previous video I made. You can go watch that. There's a link in the description if you want to go see that video. But now what has happened is there's now a waiting list, I believe. So you can't just get in immediately. At the time for us joining, there was no waiting list. Now there is, because I think there's only allowed 100 people in Quantum at any given time. And I think there's about 100 people in it now. I wouldn't be surprised. So that's how you get in. Reach out to Sam, reach out to Jesse, reach out to anybody on the consulting team, and you'll be able to get on the phone, likely with Jesse Clark. I've even heard some students in the mastermind of being able to get on the phone with Sam directly. What's the cost? It's $36,000. It's a 1-year commitment, and payments are made monthly. Okay, so it's $3,000 per month. 3 times 12, everyone here can do the math. It's $36,000, and you can pay it up front if you want, but they give you the option of paying it monthly, which is nice for cash flow. Okay, here is what you get. You get access to 3 in-person events per year. I believe it's 3. I remember it being 3, not 4. It's once every 4 months. You get access to a private Quantum Mastermind Facebook group, which comes with all the members in the group. Just there's support in that group. You can talk to any of the other members. It's your typical private Facebook group, except with highly successful entrepreneurs. Number 3, you get access to all the previous events via recording. Props to Sam Ovens for doing this. Every single Quantum Mastermind event is recorded, and he's been recording them for multiple years. And so it's a really nice feature that you get, because when you come into the mastermind, you can go watch all the previous mastermind recordings as if you were actually there, which is fantastic, and there's a lot of value in those recordings. So that was a great thing that Sam actually did. Number 4, you get access to twice a week group Q&A calls with Sam Ovens himself. I believe it's twice a week, not once a week, but I kind of forget. Now this is actually also very valuable because you get to talk to Sam, and I mean, Sam's running a business that's doing well into the 8 figures, and it's nice to get his input on certain questions and always have him to be able to answer questions to give you support whenever you need it. So How are the events structured? Okay, this is where it gets really interesting, and I got some stuff hidden here because I want to just focus on everything one at a time. It's a classroom setting. You are literally in like a classroom with a bunch of entrepreneurs, and Sam is quote unquote the teacher, and he has a whiteboard. And you see this photo that I'll show you right here. It's not a whiteboard, it's actually like one of those paper pad things. This was back in New York when he was living in New York. I don't have any photos of the LA events, Los Angeles events that we went to, but it's the same principle, except it's Sam, a whiteboard, and some students sitting behind or sitting in front of him. Now, here's how it kind of works. So day one, you start at 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. I forget what it was. Everyone introduces themselves in the following structure. So Sam says, hey, welcome everybody to the Quantum Mastermind. Here's how we're going to start. Everybody, let's go one by one in clockwise order, and you have to answer the following question. So I would say, my name is Taylor Bentrude. I help businesses that are selling products on Amazon to increase their advertising sales by giving them better Amazon advertising management. My current situation is our agency is doing over $100,000 a month. Our desired situation is we want to get to $250,000 a month in revenue. Here's the main thing that's holding me back. The main thing that's holding me back is hiring people, rapidly, or hiring people as fast as we can sign clients. That's what I want to learn about. That's it. And then as this is going through, like it takes each person about 30 seconds, Sam is kind of like writing down what each person is saying to get an idea on the general high-level topics that need to be discussed and covered to try to help everyone with their unique situation. So this third thing is that Sam starts the events in the same way. Every event that I went to, all three of the events that I went to, all started in the same structure. Everyone introduces themselves, and then once that's done, Sam will start by saying, okay, we're going to start this event like we start every event, and we're going to talk about how to optimize your time, and then he dives into the topic topics of actually helping people. But when he talks about optimizing your time, it's actually a really good 1 to 2 hour segment where he basically says, hey, you got to look at your time in this way. Here's how you can optimize it, etc. I won't go into the details of it because that would be a whole nother video. But that is pretty much it. Now you can, of course, as the mastermind event is going on, you can interject, you can ask questions, but Sam is talking 95% of the time. Don't get me wrong. It is literally him talking 90 to 95, if not 97% of the time. And this goes on for 3 days. The only time Sam isn't talking, that 5%, is pretty much when everybody introduces themselves, all right? So that is how the events are structured, to give you an idea on how it's actually structured. What was the most valuable things that I learned? So number one is the importance of culture. The first thing I noticed when the first event that I went to was the disproportionate amount of time that went to Sam speaking about culture. Okay, absolutely a ridiculous amount of time went to him talking about culture and people and vision, mission, core values, etc. He wouldn't stop saying that it's one of the most important things. I'm very glad that I learned this. No other entrepreneur, no other book that I had read really clearly told me that culture is so freaking important, and here's why. And he broke it down in a fantastic way. So that was a great thing that I learned from Sam. Number two is the importance of understanding systems, okay, and how to think. Understanding systems is really just understanding how to think. One of the biggest takeaways I took, even though he never really clearly explained it in the way that I understand it now, but he always used the word bottleneck. And he never really explained thoroughly kind of how this thing works in the giant system of your business. At least for the events that I went to or that I can remember, but it teaches you how to think, because your business, your life, everything is just a system, and in that system you have bottlenecks, and you just gotta relentlessly optimize the bottleneck. So find the bottleneck, optimize it, zoom out, find the next bottleneck, zoom in, fix it, zoom out, and this is the infinite process of business, ladies and gentlemen. A fantastic book that talks about this. If you want to understand the concept of bottlenecks and where it came from, it's a good book called The Goal by, I don't remember his name, but his last name is Goldratt. The author's last name is Goldratt. The book is called The Goal. It is literally a fantastic book. I recommend you read it. Number three, how to look at time and get the most from it. As I said, he always starts the events in the same way. He talks about how to look at time and how to get the most out of it, okay? That's the three most important things I learned on a high level. Again, I'm keeping this video high level. I could probably talk for hours, but I don't want to. So what did I not like about this mastermind? I bet you there's a lot of skeptical people who think Sam Ovens is a scam that really want me to tell you that it's a scam. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, it is not, and you probably know that from my previous video. But here's what is, I think, the thing that I hated the most about it, and it's basically the dark side of Sam Ovens, which I've talked about in the previous video. I say the dark side of Sam Ovens, it's a joke, it's a symbol, don't take it literally. There's some people in the comments of my previous video, Sam Ovens, are like, this is not a dark side, you shouldn't be saying that. It's like, dude, chill out. It's a joke. But it is a bias in his head. Sam hates the DFY, done for you business model. That is an agency, that is any service-based business. He hates it. He doesn't think it scales. He will recommend to you that you get rid of it after $20, $30, $40, $50,000 a month and you move to done with you coaching or a course. Okay, that's just what he recommends to everyone. Now, this nearly killed my agency, Better AMS, since I trusted his advice blindly. Now, I'll take the blame. I shouldn't have just blindly trusted this dude's advice. I should have looked at what his experience is. Sam doesn't have experience scaling an agency and building a successful agency. Sam built an agency, if you know his story, he built an agency that he hated. He had no time. He didn't build a good agency. He has no idea how to build a good agency. His agency reached, I don't know if it was $50,000 or if it was $70,000 per month. I don't know what it was, but the way he describes it is that it was an absolute nightmare. He had no time. He was frustrated with clients. All of there was fires everywhere that he was having to put out. And you know what? Get Sam's description of his agency that he had 5, 6, 7 years ago is the typical agency. Most people have no idea how to build a good agency. So you won't learn how to build an agency from him. Okay, he's gonna tell you to get rid of your agency, scale a course. I really disliked that because I always felt that I liked the agency model, but I wasn't wise enough to understand that Sam is just like, it's to the man with a hammer, everything looks like a nail, and Sam does not have a tool in his toolkit that shows you how to scale an agency. He has some of the best tools in the world for showing you how to scale a course. Okay, not an agency, not done for you. He doesn't know how to scale done for you. That's my opinion. That's what I didn't like about the mastermind, is that he has this bias and he kind of recommended. Again, you will make probably more money faster if you go down the course route, the done with you, because the throughput of that business model is greater, and that's correct. However, long-term or just preferential wise, you can still scale an agency ridiculously far and have an amazing time doing it. So what was the impact it had on my two businesses? Well, that's kind of leads off the last thing. Better AMS, my agency, when we joined the Quantum Mastermind, it was doing about $40,000 a month. It went down to about $15,000 per month over the course of 3 to 6 months since joining. Now, this wasn't because of anything other than me taking Sam's advice. Sam said, hey, you know what? Just get rid of the agency and focus on your course. That was the other business model, the ppcamsaccelerator.com. You can go to that. It's still a business. My business partner, who I actually sold my half of the company to, is still running that company. That went from 0 to 60,000 per month in 3 to 4 months, I believe. I forget, it's been a while now. But that thing scaled very quickly, and so I was obviously very excited about that. But when I spoke to Sam about it, you know, what should we do with the agency? So should we still try to scale the agency? He was like, no, just basically let your clients be there. The clients that you have, let them be. But if they're taking up too much of your time, you can just get rid of them, or you know, like you could sell it. You could basically, he told me though, you should just let your clients go. That was kind of the advice. Don't scale it. If clients leave, great, you'll have more time to focus on the course. So negative impact on the agency, positive impact on the course. Like that makes complete sense, given that Sam doesn't teach you how to scale an agency in Quantum. He teaches you how to scale a course. So why did I decide to leave? Well, number one, I made the decision to go back into scaling my agency full time. So despite Sam Ovens' advice, the agency went down to about $15,000 per month, as I said, and Destiny, who is now my business partner, took over the management of the agency. She was someone I hired at the time, and she didn't have like equity per se in the agency. However, she's brilliant, and she was able to actually scale the agency back up from like $15,000 to $35,000 per month. It took her a little bit of time, but she got it done, and that was really exciting to me because it was the first time I'd really seen the agency kind of scale on its own without me having any involvement. However, she kind of maxed out. She was like full of clients. She needed help. I was really excited because I was like, damn, this thing is scaling on its own. This is really cool. At that time, right when the agency went from about 15 back up to 35 on its own without me having any involvement, I think it was about 30, 35, that was right around the end of the Quantum Mastermind, I believe. My time is probably off by a decent amount because this was 2018. We're talking about 2018 to 2019, I believe. And I decided, you know what? I told Jesse, I said, hey, even though I wanted to be in this mastermind for a second year, I'm working full-time on my agency. This is not what the mastermind is about. The agency does, the mastermind does not help you scale an agency. It is fantastic for helping you scale your course. And, you know, to a certain degree, it did help me scale my agency because it taught me culture, it taught me thinking in systems. But the impact that it would have on someone with an agency versus someone with a course is it's going to be 100 times more effective for someone with a course. And it could be detrimental to you with an agency if you take his advice like I did. So yeah, that's why I decided to leave, because I decided to go back all in on the agency. And I'm very grateful that I did, because last month our agency did just over $100,000 in revenue. I don't deal with any of the clients. It's very much, we have an amazing team. I'm very excited about everyone that we work with, and I get to basically work on things that I like to work on. It's a beautiful business. The business model is tremendously rewarding because you get to work with a lot of people, and working with great people is a really exciting thing. So anyways, that was a big rant. But number two, right now, as I said, I spend 95% of my time on our agency, but I about 5% on Agency Enlighten. By the way, I've never mentioned this ever on this in any video on this channel, but I do have my own course, Agency Enlighten. It is helping agency owners scale their agency. It's primarily for agency owners who are doing over 10,000 a month. I'm not even selling it right now. You can't get into it. If you go to my website, taylorbenshu.com, and you try to apply and book a call, I will not sell it to you because we are rebuilding it, and the version 2 is going to come out in 2 or 3 months. It's going to be insane, and so it's completely closed, and there's no one. You can't get into it, so don't even ask me about it. But if you want to research more about it, just ask me in 3 months, I guess you could say. But once the revenue of Agency Enlighten crosses over 100,000 a month, I will likely rejoin the mastermind for 1 year, because, as I said, it's great for scaling a course. It's not great for scaling an agency. So once the Agency Enlighten course, which is a very separate business from Better AMS, again, that is a totally different business. Once that gets over 100,000 a month in revenue, fantastic. I'll join the Quantum Mastermind again and see how it goes, given that I'll be more focused on the course to a certain degree. So is it worth it for you? Look, if you're selling a course, or if you're selling a course of, I don't know, I think I made a typo here, Done With You coaching, and you're doing over 30,000 a month, I think you can be amazed. It's just, yeah, okay. So if you're not running an agency, great. If you're selling a course and you're doing Done With You coaching, this will probably be a good decision for you if you're doing over 30,000 per month. I think that's around a good time. Number two, if you're selling a Done For You service, you like your agency, you want to run your agency, and you want to scale it, I don't recommend you join the mastermind. I truly believe that, yes, you will get value from learning about culture and how to think and systems, but the amount of value you'll get relative to what you could do just reading some books on that, it's not, I don't think it's worth it. You really need to be running a course or Done With You coaching. Or maybe you're running an agency, but you want to transition to a course model. Even in that case, though, I'd recommend UpLevel. So if you're doing 20, 30K per month in profit with your coaching or course business, good time. If you're doing less than 20K per month in profit with your Done With You or a course or coaching business, then I'd say that joining Sam's UpLevel course is probably a better decision, since he shows you how to scale up to 100,000 a month in that course, and you also get support and everything else. Now, I'm not trying to sell anything here. Don't think that I'm trying to sell you something. This is programs that I went through personally, and so I can say that, I'm just trying to give you advice on the decision making that you go through. If you're considering UpLevel, great, go through it. This is kind of my logic, if you will, for if you should join the mastermind or not. Like I said, if you're doing less than 20K a month profit, I think UpLevel is a better decision if you're not already in it. And possibly I could make an in-depth review on UpLevel. If you think that's interesting, let me know in the comment section below. UpLevel, again, I talked about it briefly in the previous Sam Ovens video I made, where I talked about all his programs from a high level. But anyways, that's it. Now, number 5 is if you're not generating any revenue, or you're struggling to get over 5,000 to 10,000 per month right now, I would recommend the Sam's Consulting Accelerator program. It is basically what helped me start my agency, Better AMS. It's a great course. It's a great overall coverage of entrepreneurship in general, how to get your first clients, how to scale up to $10,000, $30,000 per month. Some people even gone up to like 50 in that program. It's a good program for getting your agency started to $10,000, $20,000 a month. I highly recommend it. As a matter of fact, I've done this before. I'll do it again. I will shamelessly leave a link to that program. It is a free trial link. It gives you a $500 discount code. Yes, I receive a freaking commission if you decide to use that link. If you don't want to pay me anything, don't use that commission. I don't care. But if you do want to save $500, there's a link in the description below, and it'll just give you access to a free trial of the Consulting Accelerator program. Fantastic program if you are not yet generating any revenue, or you're just doing $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $10,000 a month. It'll help you get up to 20, 30. That's what it did for me for Better AMS. But beyond 30,000, it's not really that great, because Sam just tells you, hey, now that you're at 30,000 a month, you should get rid of this agency and you should start a course. That's pretty much what he says when it comes to around that revenue mark for the agency. So that is my giant review, okay? I'm very curious to know your thoughts. There's a lot of people who asked me for this. If you liked the video, if you thought I did a good job, let me know in the comment section below. That'll be very helpful. If you found value in this, just hit the subscribe button, all right? That's all I asked for. This thing took me, I think, 30 minutes to build the slides, probably another 30 minutes to record this video, and another 15, 20 minutes to publish it, get it sent out. So hit that button. I'll feel the love. Hit the like button. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, or just put a period in the comments. That'll help boost the ranking of this video. The other video I made about Sam Ovens is literally the #1 organically ranked video when you search Sam Ovens. So I appreciate all the love on that previous video. Let's try to get this video up to #2. And thank you guys so much. I hope this was valuable. Once again, much love. Ciao.